الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. الله أكبر 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 الله أكبر. When Ibrahim alayhi salam stood over his son, knife in hand, ready to obey the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, he stood at the edge of two worlds. One world, the world of the self, the world of the dunya, the world of the nafs, and the other, the world of sacrifice, the world of ta'ah, obedience, the world of bir, righteousness. For Ibrahim alayhi salam, his son was his entire world. His hopes for a family, his hopes for a legacy and a lineage, all of it depended on his son. He could have disobeyed Allah. He could have ignored the dreams or made up some excuse, and he would have walked home thinking that he had saved his lineage, thinking that he had secured his legacy. But Allah Azza wa Jal was asking him for trust. Allah Azza wa Jal was telling Ibrahim alayhi salam, you think you get what you're after this way. You think that if you hold on to your son, that you are guaranteed a legacy. But nothing can happen without Allah's will. Allah Azza wa Jal wanted to prove a point. You think if you sacrifice your son, your family is gone, and your legacy is gone, and your lineage is gone. But Allah Azza wa Jal Qadir, He is able to do whatever He wants. Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who gets to decide, even if it seems like it makes no sense. How can someone save their lineage and legacy through sacrificing their son? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is possible. For Ibrahim alayhi salam, that was the only way. Hold on to his son, and Ibrahim alayhi salam would have been forgotten. Sacrifice his son, and he will be remembered. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides. Just like the mother of Musa alayhi salam, the only way for her to save Musa's life was to send him down the river in a basket. If she holds on to her son, she loses him. He will be killed. If she lets him go, she saves him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides. Just like Musa alayhi salam, the only way to overthrow Fir'aun was to grow up right in Fir'aun's house. If he grows up somewhere else, Pharaoh's oppression continues. Allah Azza wa Jalla decides. Just like Yusuf alayhi salam, the only way to achieve the honor that he saw in his dream was to be sold as a slave, was to go to prison. No prison, no slavery, no honor. Allah Azza wa Jalla gets to decide. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides what happens no matter how much sense it makes to you and me. Every single one of us finds ourselves in Ibrahim's situation every single year, every single month, every single day. We have to choose. We have to choose whether we obey Allah Ta'ala, whether we trust Him or not. Maybe we have an addiction. Every time you pick up that cigarette, Every time you reach for the bottle, you stand on the edge of two worlds, just like Ibrahim alayhi salam. In your hand, you think you have what is going to satisfy you. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling you that the only way to true satisfaction is to put it down and to give it up. Maybe we have a business and we sell haram. Every time you put in your order from the vendor, you stand on the edge of two worlds, just like Ibrahim alayhi salam. You think by selling the haram that you are securing your livelihood, that you are getting your money, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling you that the only way to truly secure your livelihood in this life and the next is to put it down and give it up and trust Allah. Every single one of us finds ourselves in Ibrahim's place sooner or later. And every single one of us has a hard decision to make. But Allah Azza wa Jalla wants you and I to know that whatever we love, the only way to get it is by obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The thing that we fear, the only way to stay away from it and avoid it is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no honor and there is no dignity in disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الله أكبر 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 لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الحمد لله الذي بعث نبيه محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم رحمة للعالمين وقدوة للعاملين وحجة على العباد أجمعين. بعثه بدين الهدى ورحمة فأنقذ الله به من الهلكة وهدى به من الضلالة. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما. Ibrahim alayhi salam had the same choice to make, and he chose obedience. Because of his choice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him more than he could have ever imagined. Today, we celebrate Ibrahim's trust. We celebrate Ibrahim's sacrifice, Ibrahim's triumph over fear. And so, as we prepare ourselves to sacrifice and to celebrate, let's remember that we're not just celebrating the date on the calendar, but we're celebrating our trust in Allah, our obedience to Allah, and our following in the footsteps of our father Ibrahim alayhi salam in our own lives. If you intend to sacrifice today, then remember that the animal you sacrifice has to meet 3 conditions. First, it has to be old enough. A cow must be at least 2 years old. A goat must be at least 1 year old. A sheep must be at least 6 months old. Secondly, the animal has to be healthy and sound. It must not have a limp. It must not be sick. It must not be blind. And it must not be starving or malnourished. Also, it is better that there are no problems with its ears, its horns, or its teeth. Third, it has to be done during the proper time. That time began at the end of this salah, the Eid prayer, and it ends on Maghrib at the 3rd day of Tashriq, which is Friday evening. It is better to do it today than later, and it is better to do it during the day than the night, and it is better to be present than to be absent during the sacrifice. You absolutely must say Bismillah before sacrificing the animal, and the blood should gush forth from the animal to ensure that it does not suffer. The best way to ensure that this happens is to cut both veins and the windpipe and the esophagus, all 4. The sacrifice should be done with calmness, bihudub, wa mercy, wa rahmah. You should sharpen the blade to ensure the animal does not suffer. You should prevent the living animals from seeing the dead animals, and you should make your cut biquwwah, with strength and speed, so that the death is quick and painless. 1/3 of the meat should be given to the poor, الثلث للفقراء, and a food should be given away to friends as gifts, and a third should be kept for yourself. The butcher should not be paid from the meat itself, but from your own pocket. And remember the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَةَ وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَةَ وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَرَفَتَهُ وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ رواه Muslim. Surely Allah Azza wa Jal has prescribed excellence in everything that we do. So if you kill, then excel in it. And if you slaughter, then excel in it. And let everyone sharpen his blade and put his sacrifice at ease. ثم صلوا وسلموا على النبي رحمة كما أمركم ربكم حيث قال إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين وانصر عبادك المؤمنين واجعل اللهم بلاد الإسلام آمنا مطمئنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات يا سميع الدعاء. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. يا عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم والله يعلم ما تصنعون.